Welcome to AI for Beginners Demystified, the podcast that makes artificial intelligence simple, practical, and profitable for small business owners. Each week, we turn complex AI concepts into real-world strategies you can use to grow your business. Hosted by the team at Internet Marketing Services. This is AI for Beginners Demystified, where the future of business starts today. Let's get started.
Welcome to AI for Beginners Demystified, the podcast that makes artificial intelligence simple, practical, and exciting. I'm Rick Samara.
And I'm Paul Stober.
So we've been digging through the sources you sent us on one of the strangest problems with modern AI.
These incredibly powerful tools that just make stuff up.
Exactly. Completely, confidently, and, sometimes it's pretty funny, but the consequences really aren't.
Not at all.
So our mission today is to get into the why. Why do systems like ChatGPT, Grok, all of them, why do they just invent information? We want to look at the tech behind these guesses.
And critically, what you can actually do about it, how to manage that risk.
Okay, so let's start with a quick definition, just so we're all on the same page. We're talking about AI hallucinations.
Right. And it's when a large language model, an LLM, generates something that is just factually wrong or illogical or sometimes completely fabricated out of thin air.
But, and this is the key part, it presents it with 100% confidence.
Total certainty. And we have to be clear, it's not a bug. It's not lying.
Yeah, in the human sense. It's a direct result of how these systems are actually designed to work.
And that's the part we really need to unpack, because I think most of us, when we use these tools, we think we're using a super smart search engine.
Exactly. We think it's retrieving information from some giant, perfect library. Wow. And that mental model is, it's just fundamentally wrong.
So it's not a library?
No, it's a prediction engine. And that one distinction, prediction, not retrieval, that's the key to this whole hallucination problem.
So if it's not about truth, what is its main goal?
The sources say it's all about fluency over accuracy. Its job is to make the next sentence look good, to make it flow grammatically and stylistically. It's basically a super advanced autocomplete.
And sometimes to make the sentence look good, it just fills in the blank with a convincing lie because that lie fits the pattern.
Precisely. It's a process called next token prediction. A token is just a word or sometimes part of a word. It looks at the text it just wrote and asks, what is the single most statistically probable next token?
Not what is the single most true next token.
Not exactly. The question is always about probability. So if the structure of a sentence seems to demand a source or a date or a name, and it can't find one in its training, it feels this immense statistical pressure to just generate something that looks right.
It's like an overeager kid. That's the analogy from the sources, right? You ask a 5-year-old, the capital of Kansas.
And they just beam at you and say, Banana City.
With total unshakable confidence.
And that confidence is the real danger. The AI doesn't ask if something is true. It asks if it's probable. The entire architecture is built on that.
Okay. But if the training data is so huge, we're talking trillions of words, why are there so many gaps? Why does it have to guess so often?
Because even a data set that big isn't infinite. It's got noise, it has contradictions, it has massive gaps on niche topics. And when a prompt pushes the AI into one of those gaps, it doesn't just stop.
It doesn't say, I don't know.
No. It takes a swing. It uses its massive vocabulary to combine words into a plausible sounding falsehood because its competence is tied to that fluency, not to facts.
So that lack of information is what forces the wild guess. Which brings us to the 5 big reasons our sources laid out for why these machines just make things up.
Okay, so the first one we've basically covered is the core design, prediction over truth. The system is designed to be a good storyteller, not a good fact checker.
Like Uncle Bob telling that story about how he almost made the NFL. The details might change each time, but the story always sounds great.
The goal is a satisfying narrative, not a factual report. The number 2 is what happens when it hits a real knowledge gap. We're calling it missing memories, wild guesses.
So this is when you ask about something really obscure or specific, and it's just not in the training data at all.
Right. And instead of admitting that, it invents the details it needs.
Mm-hmm.
It'll make up big titles, create fake quotes from real people, or even invent entire research papers because it knows a sentence like that should have a citation.
Which is so frustrating. And that leads right into the third reason. It's trained to be too helpful.
Oh, this one is a big one. The models are fine-tuned by humans to be polite, engaging, and useful. So it pathologically avoids saying, I don't know.
It's the ultimate people pleaser. You ask where the scissors are, and instead of saying, I'm a language model, I can't know,
it gives you a confident and completely wrong answer. Like, they're in the drawer. It would rather be confidently wrong than unhelpful.
And that's a design choice, which is kind of scary. Okay, number 4 is actually on us, the users. Vague questions confuse it.
Are you still spending hours answering calls, replying to reviews, or posting on social media? What if you could hand off all that busy work without hiring another person? Introducing AI Employee, your first digital hire. AI Employee combines 6 powerful AI tools into one easy system that works 24/7 to help you grow your business. It answers calls, chats with customers, manages reviews, creates content, builds marketing funnels, and follows up with leads automatically. And here's the best part. It doesn't need breaks, benefits, or coffee. Just a few clicks and it's working for you. If you're ready to save time, cut costs, and stay ahead of your competition, visit einternetmarketingservices.com to meet your new AI employee today. Your business will thank you for it.
Yes, if your prompt is fuzzy, you're basically forcing the AI to guess what you mean. And as soon as it starts guessing your intent, the odds of a hallucination just skyrocket.
The example was, what did Mary say that day?
Exactly. A human would ask, which Mary? The AI knows there's missing context, but instead of asking for it, it just fills in the blanks. It might invent a Mary, and it will definitely invent what she said.
It's bridging a gap with pure probability. And the last one, number 5, is pretty straightforward. It doesn't know new stuff. There's always a training cutoff date.
Every single model has a last time I studied date. Ask it about anything that's happened since then, and it has no real data. It's forced to construct an answer based on old patterns.
It's like asking someone who hasn't seen the news since 1973 to explain current events. You're going to get a very creative answer.
A very confident and creative answer.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where we really move from theory into, the real world consequences. This isn't just a quirky bug. In high stakes fields, these guesses become incredibly costly.
Right, because using a prediction engine in a field that demands absolute certainty, we're talking law, medicine, academic research, that's where things get dangerous.
Let's run through the greatest hits of hallucinations. First up, and this is a classic, fake citations and studies.
Ah, yes, they're all pickle bottom.
The infamous Dr. Picklebottom. Ask AI for a scientific study it hasn't heard of and it might invent. According to a 1997 paper by Dr. Jonas Picklebottom, Dr. Jonas Picklebottom is not real. This is an AI hallucination. The AI knows it needs a source, so it just makes one up. It will generate a plausible name, a journal, a date, according to a 1997 paper by, and none of it is real.
The second big area is confident professional advice.
This one's really serious. It can mimic the tone of a doctor or a lawyer so perfectly that it sounds completely authoritative.
But as the sources say, it barely has good manners, let alone a license to practice. We see the authoritative tone and we just assume there's authority behind it.
Third is something a little more subtle, made up numbers. If you ask it a question that doesn't have a readily available statistic, like how many people knit sweaters in Nebraska?
It's not going to say, I can't find that data.
No, it'll give you a very specific, very precise sounding number, 22,945 people. It's pure nonsense, but the precision makes it feel real. We also see things like incorrect image descriptions. A dog is a potato, but those are usually less harmful.
But the reputational risk is very real, and the sources brought up that case with the lawyer.
That's the perfect example. A lawyer used ChatGPT for legal research, and it just invented several legal precedents, fake court cases that he then cited in a legal brief.
And what happened?
He was sanctioned by the court. It was a huge professional embarrassment and a serious legal issue. It's a total breakdown of that human-machine trust. He trusted a prediction engine to do a verification task.
That really drives it home, okay? Before we get to solutions, we need to draw a really clear line between two different AI problems, hallucination versus bias.
Right. They can look similar because they're both errors, but they have completely different causes.
So a hallucination is a failure effect.
Exactly. It's inventing something that isn't real, like that fake court case. It's an error of creation.
Whereas bias is a failure of representation.
Correct. That's when the model's output reflects the skewed data it was trained on. So if you ask for a picture of a doctor and it only shows you men, that's bias. One is about truth, the other is about fairness. They're two separate issues.
So the big question then is, can we just fix this? Can we eliminate hallucinations?
And the sources are really clear on this. No, elimination is probably impossible.
Why?
Because if you program the model to be so cautious that it could never hallucinate, it'd become useless. It would answer every question with, well, maybe it's possible. I'm not really sure. You'd break its fluency.
It would be like a teenager at Thanksgiving, just monosyllabic answers.
Exactly. So the only realistic goal is reduction, not elimination. And companies are trying a few big things here.
The main one seems to be something called RAG, Retrieval Augmented Generation.
It sounds complex, but the idea is simple. You give the AI a library.
A closed, trusted library?
Yes. Instead of letting the AI just guess based on its massive, messy internal training, RAG forces it to first look up information in a specific verified set of documents you provide. Your company's PDFs, internal notes, whatever. It has to ground its answer in that information first.
So it shifts the AI from being a pure predictor to being more of an intelligent search tool for a specific data set.
It dramatically reduces the need for it to take a wild swing because it has a real set of facts right there to use.
What else are they trying?
The other big things are guardrails, basically. Programming and rules like do not guess or do not invent sources.
Stay away from Dr. Picklebottom.
Exactly. And also trying to teach uncertainty, training the model to say, I'm not sure when its confidence level drops. But that's hard because the whole system is built to sound confident and complete.
So in the end, the most effective strategy actually falls to us, the user.
It has to. We have to stop treating the AI like an oracle and start treating it like a very fast, very capable, but slightly confused assistant who needs clear instructions.
So let's build the user's cheat sheet. What's step one?
Be incredibly specific of your questions. Don't give it any room to guess your intent.
And always, always ask for sources.
Always. Request verifiable sources, and you can even explicitly tell in the prompt, do not invent information.
I like the idea of forcing it to state its own confidence. Asking, how certain are you of this fact?
That's a great tactic because it forces it to meta-analyze its own response. You're essentially forcing it to switch from its creative predictive mode to a more analytical retrieval-based mode.
You're forcing the wild guesser to become a grounded tool.
And if we wrap this all up, the biggest single risk is what we can call the confidence trap.
Plausibility is not truth.
Never. The AI uses the exact same authoritative tone to tell you a real historical fact as it does to invent a statistic about sweater knitters in Nebraska. That confident delivery is the real danger.
So the big takeaway here is that these AIs are probabilistic tools. They're not fact checkers, they're not authorities, and a confident answer means absolutely nothing about correctness.
The shift you have to make is from treating it like a trusted expert to treating it like a brand new junior intern.
Fast, capable, gets a draft done in seconds.
But you have to check every single fact before you show it to anyone. Human oversight and skepticism aren't optional. They're essential.
Which brings us to a final provocative thought for you to take away. If these tools are fundamentally designed to prioritize helpful, fluent sentences over provable truth, what does the next generation need?
What structural changes beyond just telling it don't guess would be necessary to build an AI that is structurally incapable of fabrication when the stakes are high? Are we headed for a future where we have to choose between a fast conversational AI and a slower, more deliberate, but verifiably accurate one?
All right, let's bring this all together because this episode tackled one of the most confusing and risky problems in modern AI.
Yeah. We focused on AI hallucinations, those moments when tools like ChatGPT or Grok confidently generate information that's completely false.
And the big realization was this: hallucinations aren't bugs, and they're not the AI lying.
Exactly. They're a direct result of how large language models are designed. These systems aren't search engines, they're prediction engines.
Their job isn't to find the truth, it's to predict the most probable next word. Fluency beats accuracy.
Which explains why they sound so confident even when they're wrong. The system is optimized to make sentences flow, not to verify facts.
We walked through the 5 big reasons hallucinations happen: prediction over truth, missing data gaps, over-helpfulness, vague prompts, and outdated training cutoffs.
And when the AI hits a gap, it doesn't stop. It guesses, sometimes inventing fake studies, precise-sounding statistics, or professional advice it has no authority to give.
That's where the real-world risks show up: fake citations, made-up legal cases, medical advice, or fabricated numbers that feel trustworthy.
Which is why we drew that important distinction between hallucinations and bias. One is about truth, the other is about representation. Different problems, different solutions.
And then came the uncomfortable truth. Hallucinations can't be fully eliminated. If you force the AI to never guess, you destroy what makes it usable.
So the real goal isn't elimination, it's reduction. That's where techniques like RAG, guardrails, and uncertainty training come in.
But ultimately, the most important safeguard isn't technical, it's human.
So if we had to boil this episode down into a few core takeaways, here's what really matters.
First, AI confidence means nothing. A fluent answer is not a correct answer.
Second, these tools are probabilistic assistants, not authorities. They generate plausible text, not verified truth.
And third, the biggest risk isn't hallucination itself. It's the confidence trap, where humans mistake authoritative tone for accuracy.
The mindset shift is simple but critical. Stop treating AI like an expert and start treating it like a fast, capable junior intern.
All right, let's make this practical. Here's your action item for the week.
The next time you use AI for anything factual, research, stats, citations, or advice, do 3 things in your prompt.
1, be hyper-specific. Remove any ambiguity that forces the AI to guess.
2, explicitly ask for verifiable sources and tell it not to invent information.
And 3, ask the AI to state its confidence level in the answer.
Then, and this is non-negotiable, manually verify every important fact before using it.
If you do just that, you'll immediately reduce hallucination risk and start using AI the way it was meant to be used, as an accelerator, not an authority.
And that's really the big question we'll leave you with.
If AI is structurally designed to prioritize fluency over truth, what kind of systems do we need when accuracy actually matters?
That's the conversation we're heading into next.
Thanks for listening to AI for Beginners Demystified, brought to you by Internet Marketing Services, helping small businesses harness the power of AI to work smarter and grow faster. If you found this episode helpful, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new episode. Be sure to check out the description below for valuable links and resources, including free tools, learning guides, and ways to start applying AI in your business today. And visit internetmarketingservices.com to explore even more AI tools, tips, and resources. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and keep demystifying AI.